Hello and welcome to Tar Heel Teachers Presents North Carolina's Early College Network. I'm Marlow Artis, proud principal of Craven Early College and the moderator for this special conversation. Joining me as special guest co-host for this segment is Dr. Krystal Cox.
Hello, I'm so excited to be here today. I am bringing you greetings from RTI International as an educational consultant. And one of my areas that I support the most is the Early College Network. So excited to be here to help you moderate today.
We're so happy to have you here, Krystal, especially with your extensive background as a early college principal. So we're really happy that you're part of this conversation. We know it takes a special brand of leader to serve as an early college principal, and we are so happy to be joined by some of our exceptional leaders in the Early College Network. We'll start our introductions with our colleague from Cabarrus County.
Hello, everybody. I'm Vance Fishback. I've been an early college principal since 2009, and I've been at this school, Cabarrus Early College of Technology, since 2016.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Russell Vernon. I have been at Rockingham Early College High School for this is my 5th year, and we are located about 20 miles south of Danville, Virginia. Excited to be here, and this is my 25th year in public education.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jackie Harris. I'm the current principal of Granville Early College High School in Creedmoor, North Carolina. I have been at the school for 8 years and currently finishing my 33rd year as an educator.
Hello, everyone. I am Frida Allen. I am the proud principal of Wayne Early Middle College High School in Goldsboro, North Carolina. I joined the early college in 2016, and I have been there ever since, but I've been in education for 27 years.
All right, greetings. My name is Adrian Porter. I am the proud principal of Union County Early College in Union County. This is my 3rd year as principal at UCEC, and then finishing up my 21st year in education.
Fantastic. I'm so excited to be here with each of you as a first-year early college principal myself. Happy to learn from all of you and have been able to learn from you all through the Early College Network. What would you all say in terms of how the Early College Network has impacted your work as a principal?
Well, I'll go ahead and jump in. I think for me, the Early College Network does a lot of things. It provides us a structure with the Next Generation Framework to kind of help guide our practice. It allows us to get together with like-minded people. As principals of early college, we're usually only one of us in a district, maybe 2 or 3 if you're lucky. So it's nice to be able to get together with the people who share the same job, and not just us, but our college liaisons and counselors and our teachers and even now our students. So it's a nice way to connect.
For me, it was my first experience as a high school principal, so I felt kind of lost. And it was good to have that network of support. I could run ideas by people. They were having similar problems as me. They helped me to solve those problems. And it's a constant network that you can bounce ideas off and get feedback from.
Yeah, and I would say the network is definitely positive. For me, I got my principalship right after COVID. So I was brand new to a principalship. So the Early College Network was definitely like a group of principals and educators who are similar minded that was able to kind of help and ask questions. So that definitely helped me out a lot during my first year as a principal.
For me, I think anytime you get the opportunity to get together to network with those who are doing similar jobs that you're doing and to be able to share tips and tricks and strategies, the professional development, especially through the Early College Summit that we have during the summer, is always a joy that I look forward to. I'm looking forward to joining it again this year, but the opportunity for the professional development and professional growth that the Early College Network provides is amazing.
And I would just echo what all of my colleagues have said. You know, the Early College Network has been a wonderful experience. This is the 5th year that I've been a part of it. And not only just to network with myself and other principals, but also to serve as a network for my teachers, some of my students now, as well as my college liaison and my counselor. And so I think, you know, the biggest part of that has just been having a platform that we could all come together and talk to each other. As Frida mentioned, I also have used and enjoyed the summit that we have each year. One of the big ways that I use the summit is to bring my whole staff to that professional development, and we use it as a summer retreat to plan our school improvement process and to plan our school improvement goals for the next year. So the Early College Network has been a very valuable resource for my entire staff.
It is a really great resource. I remember it was announced that I was going to be the principal at Craven Early College, and somebody reached out and said, you're going to love the resources that RTI provides, and I can definitely concur with that. Dr. Cox, what question do you have for this panel?
Yeah, so I know in the sessions, I know for me, when I was a principal going through the sessions, there would always be a strategy or something that I would gain from each of those sessions. So I was just wondering if you could share just maybe one strategy or one resource that you have gained through your experiences in the network.
For me and for my staff, one of the biggest that I take away is the rounds process, which we get our teachers to go observe each other in a non-evaluative way. I think they find that really valuable, that they can get that kind of feedback, and it's not something you see in traditional schools.
For me, we enjoy at the end of the year taking our framework and reviewing our school year, and that's how we set our goals for the upcoming year. But also the experience of the visits. When I have a team of early college principals, counselors, and teachers come into my building, I know they know what this early college should look like. So the feedback that they leave is just phenomenal. It helps us to grow. It gives them an opportunity to see things that may not be happening at their school that they may be able to implement as well.
Yeah, I would say being the unique schools that we are, just the opportunity to visit other schools and kind of troubleshoot and see some of the things that they're dealing with, and you say, oh, I got that same issue here, and kind of figuring that stuff out. That has been very helpful. And then also for my teachers have had the opportunity to kind of participate in the different core areas where they meet with other teachers in that particular area as well. And they've been giving me a lot of feedback. Also, along with our college liaison, got to participate in some of those events as well. So, you know, when you have like minds, you know, working together, that is so beneficial and helpful.
For me, I would like to add the experience that we go through when we're problem solving through the protocols that we have. So by being in education for over 20 years, I didn't use any of those protocols or wasn't even introduced to any of those until I joined the Early College Network. And now we use those, we model those in our sessions when we get together as early college principals, and we are able to take those skills and strategies back and use with our staffs. Those have helped us to be able to have very productive, critical conversations as a staff when needed.
And I would just echo again what Priya said with the problems of practice and those opportunities to just talk around each other. And for me, myself, as an individual, we've been able to do that as Early College Network and with other early college principals. But I've also brought that back to my staff, and we've been able to use that at the staff. And actually this week, we are using that at the district level. We sent that to our superintendent. Our superintendent is using that with a group of principals here. As a way to have some professional development with our district. So I feel like it gives me an opportunity to bring back some of those same types of protocols, problems of practice, and then kind of share those not only with my staff, but also with the entire district.
Thank you.
It's really beneficial to be able to have access to the research-based resources. That we know that whenever we're going to that space, whether it's a school visit, we're looking at things that are research aligned, whether we're going to the summit or even going to a principal networking session, the research is there. And as a nerd, I absolutely love that. How would you all define the role of an early college principal? Because it is different than a traditional principal. There are some similarities, but there are some unique experiences. So how would you all really define the work that we do day in and day out?
I'd like to say that I think I'm more of a facilitator in my building than the authoritative person. There's a more hands-on approach. We are getting together and solving problems as a staff and making decisions as a staff. And I can step back and be the facilitator. I also think I have the opportunity to help other teacher leaders grow more in the building because of the role I take more as a facilitator. And I am facilitating more activities with my students as well than I think I would in a traditional school setting.
I'll echo that. I think I've always equated it to early colleges are more like the mom and shop little grocery store, and traditional schools are more like corporations. At our place, we do everything from custodial stuff to, instructional stuff. We're in there with everybody. And it is more a facilitated role. Our teachers become leaders so much faster, I think, than in the traditional schools, because we just don't have that many people. So everybody's asked to step up. So it's neat to watch not only your kids grow, but your teachers grow as well.
Yeah, and I'm going to just piggyback on that. At our early college, we have a lot of resources, but some of those resources are not the human resources. So as my leadership, being the principal there, I find myself doing a wide variety of things, for my students and my staff, just kind of filling in the gaps where they're needed. But that's also a good thing, because it just, I believe in leading by example. So that gives me the opportunity to kind of fill in those gaps wherever there's needed, whether it's, subbing for a class or teaching a class, doing a seminar class, doing some custodial work. We have one cafeteria manager, so I serve lunches as well. So I enjoy doing those type of things.
I think for me, it's providing an environment that is not only safe, but it's an environment where you're okay to make mistakes and own them as adults and as children, but to teach those people how to move forward from that. And those relationships are very, very important. And I think making sure that we have relationships that are strong relationships, that are safe relationships where everybody feels welcome. It's just it's a home feeling. And I think that's the key to the early colleges, making it feel like home, where people trust that you're going to make the right decisions. Even the parents trust us to make the right decisions. So that's an important feeling, like it's at home.
Yeah, and I would agree with Jackie, just making sure that you have that family sense of feel within your building. And, all the colleagues here have mentioned some of the great things that we were doing, but one of the things that I always try to bring in with my staff, and we try to keep at the forefront, is that we want to do what's best for children. And so we ask that question at the beginning of every conversation. We create personalized education plans for students. We make sure that we're tutoring with students, because we want to make sure that everything that we do helps them in the future and helps them get to their goal and their ultimate career choice, whatever that may be. And so I think at the early college, we do wear many hats. We all have our hands in everything, and we're on every committee with the small staff, and it just gives us an opportunity to learn more as learners, and also to be able to take what we learn and instill that in others and become leaders.
So I agree with everything that y'all just said. I've done it all. And so that's one of the reasons why I enjoy the work that I get to do with helping to fill in those gaps for y'all. And if I could come and help serve lunches and do all those things, I would do that too. So I wanted to ask you next, several of you have mentioned the early college framework. So talk to us about how that has aided you in your small school design, in an innovative environment, and connecting it to some of the resources we have to use in our schools, like MTSS and NC Star.
I guess I want to start out. One of the big things is coming up is the portrait of the graduate. Our school district has, they have been on top of it, and we've been having a lot of workshops and things kind of getting prepared and what it looks like at Union County. But the early college framework, a lot of that information and things, they've been doing that for a long time. So be able to pull from those resources and use that is kind of making that transition a lot easier to portrait of a graduate.
That's great.
As I said earlier, basically we use that as a review tool at the end of the year with the entire staff. And that way we can determine our weaknesses and our strengths and how to build on them. And we incorporate that into our school-wide goals. And also across the district, a lot of times when they're developing things like the portrait of the graduate and other documents for the county, a lot of times they will reach out for input. And, I share that particular document, the framework, and some other things that we use as resources. And this is how we got to this point, A or B. And they use that to build a lot of the things that they do moving forward.
And I think we use the framework in some of the same ways. I have as many of the others on this panel, we kind of helped write the framework, about 5 years ago when we were coming through as part of the Early College Network. And so we've been able to kind of take that whole document framework and use it for school improvement goals, to use it for teachers are using it for personal education plans or PDP goals. And so we just try to connect it back to that, tying it into our STAR plan, making sure that we're using something like verbiage for NTSS plans, and just really making a connection and making one cohesive document that we could use to kind of fill the needs for each of those. The other piece that I would like to say is we also use it to help us drive our PD within the school. So when we talk with the staff, one of the things that we're doing this year is we did a whole PD on grit, and so that is one of our standards framework, and so we were able to connect that back and use some examples from other early colleges and other schools and districts across the state.
It's also a good resource when you've got a new teacher coming on board that has no idea what early college is about. It's a good starting point to help them understand what it is we're seeking to do.
I think it's also good to help the district understand who we are, because sometimes they don't have the full picture of what we do. And it's nice to be able to put that in front of them and say, here's what early colleges should be about and what we should be doing. And that helps fill in the gap for them and give them a better understanding of why we do things the way we do it sometimes.
And I like to share that with my parent advisory council as well. When we come in and we talk about the early college, I said, well, let me just share, we're in this network and here's what we do. Here's why we're doing what we're doing. That helps them just to kind of understand a little bit better and to go out and help, recruit and sell our story a little bit better. So I also include the parents with that document.
It's so comprehensive and it covers so many different components. So connected to the work that we do, and it's a great resource for beginning principals as well. I mean, for me to walk into Craven Early College and have that as a framework, is as you're trying to communicate your vision to the staff, it's not just your vision, it's also connected to research and what's connected to great work across the state. So it's really, really impactful. What would you all say to some principals who are not in the network? Because unfortunately, we don't have 100%. We don't. We have some people who just for whatever reason, they're not in the network. What would you say to some people who are on the fence? They want to know if they need to write that check or not to join the network. What would you say?
To me, it's the best bang for your buck. I mean, what we get out of it, the resources and the connections we make is worth every penny we pay to be a member.
And I would say, give us a year, write that check. Give us a year, meet us, establish those networks, have your teachers and staff and students be a part of everything that the network has to offer. And I promise you, if you give us a year, you probably would be with us from every year moving forward.
I would say if you want your early college to be a successful early college, then here is the starting point, RTI.
We're better together, get off that island, make sure you're networking with like minds, like people. And, it's not only going to help you, but it's going to help your students and your staff, grow your school.
And if you just want to taste and you want to try to preview it, the summit is a great opportunity to find out about this great work. Dr. Cox, tell us about some of the things that we could expect at this year's summit.
Yeah, so the summit is a action-packed 2 days that allows teachers, counselors, college liaisons, principals alike to learn strategies to be able to network with individuals who are like-minded. And you also have the opportunity to meet with your teams. And I know for me, that was one of the most valuable times, because oftentimes in PD sessions, you get all of this stuff, but then you don't have that time to process and to think about how you can actually implement it. And so that's built in. We have an awesome speaker that's right here from North Carolina that's going to be talking to us about SEL, which we know is a much needed topic in all of our schools, whether early college, comprehensive, just needed. And so again, just 2 days of resources, and I can promise anyone who comes to the event will leave at least with one thing, but I'm sure much, much more that they will feel like they can take back and begin to implement right away.
So excited. Looking forward to it. If you want more information about registering, please click the link in the description box of this video. When we return, we'll continue our conversation about North Carolina's Early College Network. We'll be right back. Are you an early college high school educator who wants to connect with other early college experts? Consider joining us at the Early College Summit in June. This year's summit will be held on June 6th and 7th in Durham, North Carolina. For more information and to register, please visit the summit website via the QR code and the link shared on the screen. We hope to see you there. We are back on Tar Heel Teachers Presents North Carolina's Early College Network. Joining me as special guest co-host for this segment is Dr. Frank McKay.
Hi, everyone. It's great to be with you this afternoon. And thanks, Marlow, for hosting us. I'm Frank McKay. I am the program director for RTI International's work with peer learning networks, and the Early College Network is one of the peer learning networks that we manage. And I'm just really excited to be here with this great group of educators from across North Carolina and our great early college high schools.
We're so happy to have you. We're so excited to speak with this group. We know our early colleges would not be what they are without the passionate faculty who serve tirelessly in our schools each and every day. And so we'll start our introductions with our colleague from New Hanover County.
Hi, it's nice to be here this evening. My name is Krystal Cox, and I work at Southeast Area Technical High School, also known as C-Tech High School. I am an English teacher there, and I've been there since its inception, which is 6 years. We are only 6 years old, and we are one of the newest early college technical high schools, essentially.
I'm Matthew Ipock with Early College East in Craven County. We're located in Havelock, North Carolina. And I'm a science teacher at Early College East, and this is my 8th year teaching in the early college setting. So really happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Hi, I'm Krystal Cox, and I am an English teacher at Yadkin Valley Regional Career Academy, which is a career academy early college model that is focused on graduating students with a certificate or a diploma that makes them immediately employable after graduation. I've been in the early college network though since 2008. I was a technology facilitator at the other early college in our district, Davidson Early College, and then I moved back into the classroom in 2015.
Hi, I'm Jody Paramore. I'm the instructional coach at Wake Early College of Health and Sciences in Raleigh, North Carolina. And I have been an educator for 23 years, science educator most of that time, classroom teacher for about 20 years. And I've been in the instructional coach role a little over 2 years at WEX.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Reba Bullock, and I am the Granville Early College Liaison in the great city of Creedmoor, North Carolina. I thought I may have been one of the oldest in the early college, I guess the network or early college schools, but Krista beat me on that, and that's just fine. I love to see the longevity, but I've been with Granville Early College since 2009. And so that's 14 years. And I think it's unique that I've been the only liaison that they've had, and I've enjoyed it tremendously. So it's great to be here with you all this evening.
That is so wonderful. And we're happy to have each of you here, and so much great work happening across our state in the Early College Network. Can you all talk about how you all personalize learning for students in your schools?
I can speak to that. It sounds very rudimentary, but it's relationship building for us. We start our year with home visits for the freshmen. We visit every home, we make a connection so that when they come to the school, they have somebody that they know, somebody that they recognize. And I think that's the beginning of our foundation for doing such, because from there, being that we're, in an early college setting and we have the smaller class sizes, we hone in on those relationships. And from there, we can kind of cater our instruction to what we know about children beyond just school.
So for us at YBRCA is a project-based learning school. And as a PBL school, everything is grounded in a why, so that students have a why for why they're doing something. We just finished a unit with the freshmen on their career pathways, where they had to research the career pathways and their own personal strengths and weaknesses and start to look at what was best for them. And so we ground everything in the PBL with the driving question and the why, so that they have an understanding or the groundwork of why they're doing something.
I'm going to kind of piggyback off of what Krista said, with that relationship building being a really important piece. And one thing that we do is we have a solutions class at the beginning of each day. It's like a homeroom, but extra long. It's 25 minutes. And it tends to be a fairly small group for each teacher. So that allows us to really take a moment at the beginning of each day and touch base with the students, see how they're doing. And then we use a lot of communication. We'll use Microsoft Teams, for example, and send out messages to our colleagues, watch out for this student. They're having, kind of having a hard day. Or this student just got accepted to, some new program or opportunity. And so we'll share those pieces of news, and we really have a good idea of what's going on with all of our students that way, and can therefore kind of cater the program to them.
Yeah, I would add, Dr. Artis, that I think one of the advantages of an early college is the size. So we have at our school about 300 students total. And, that gives us the advantage of being able to, like Matthew was talking about, really kind of track these students. We have an intervention team that meets weekly, an intervention coordinator. And, we're kind of looking for those students that may need an extra scoop beyond the core instruction. And, if a student is not being successful, that doesn't really get missed. And so it's on everyone's mind. Okay, what can we do to help this student be successful? And I think that's one of the really beauties of an early college is in a larger school, sometimes students can get lost, unfortunately. And we try for that not to happen with these intervention teams that are really watching our students closely.
Yes, and I wanted to listen to all these great things, because when I look at my role as a liaison, it's interesting because I have an opportunity to work on both sides at times. And so I've seen where we've been able to, through our small schools, develop great relationships with the students. And Krista, your point on that is definitely one of the most important parts of developing that student and helping them to be successful. They have to develop a trusting relationship with us. And so that's what we do. And I collaborate very closely with the high school counselor and developing those relationships, and also with the principal. We're one large team. And I also like Matthew, I think, shared of how they communicate. That is another key part of that. And that individualized piece with our students, because none of them are the same. Some of them you already know what you're going to get when they come into your advising appointment. Some of them are ready to go and running, and others you have to kind of probe a little bit, but you know them because of that relationship. And then when you see something that's going on with that student, you definitely can reach out to others and share. So all of that together really helps us help our students to be most successful and developing those individual plans for their success. And so I love that we're able to do that.
The size of the school and the dynamics and the structure allows the students to belong to all of us, and it's really, really, really powerful, and it makes a big difference. Dr. McKay, what question do you have for this esteemed panel?
I'd like to follow that one up. You all answered this in some ways, but there may be more to it. Research shows, and some pretty rigorous research has been done on early college high schools and the impact that they have on student learning. And the research basically shows that early college high schools are improving access and student success beyond high school. And there's a misperception out there that early college high schools recruit the cream of the crop, when really what we see across the network is that you all are recruiting and enrolling students who are traditionally underrepresented in higher ed. They're first generation college students, and you all are helping these students really succeed at high rates. I wonder, or I'm curious, in addition to some of the things you just mentioned, are there any other secrets to the success in terms of what you all are doing with students these students are taking college classes, extensive college classes in high school. So what is it that you're doing that's leading to this differentiated impact?
If I would like to share first that as far as on the college side, one of the things that we make sure we do is monitor student success and then put supports in place to help those students. And it's not just the college side that is going to do that. We are working together to provide that support. So there may be tutoring offered on the high school side, but there's also free tutoring at the college. We also develop the students, and again, with that relationship piece, to be advocates for themselves. We're going to, to advocate on their own behalf, but we're also there to advocate for them as well. So knowing, I think a lot of that success is also coming from that, working with them to develop that strength and that confidence in knowing that I can do this, so we help them to develop that by putting into place things that they have to do, like holding them accountable. And like, for instance, we have advising sessions, and I require the students to schedule their own appointment. I don't go out there and say, okay, I need to see you at 1:00 or whatever. I put the schedule out. I tell them, of course, not to schedule during your college class or your high school classes. So they have to work, they have to think, they have to problem solve, they have to, really be creative in how they're managing that. And so I think putting things into place, creating the environment where they are learning how to plan, organize, manage time, and we having to put those things in place are helping them beyond high school. And that's what's helping them to be successful, because they're able to speak on their own behalf. And they don't come to us like that. Like you said, we're not recruiting, if we would say, the cream of the crop. I think all of our students have the ability to do well and grow. So I don't even like to label students, because we could have a student that's all A's, but they may not have time management piece in place for the next level. So while they're with us, we're helping them develop that. Then we may have students that are pretty responsible in that area, but then in the classroom, they tend to drift away or be more discouraged when they're not doing well, or they don't think they're on the same level as some of their peers. So we having to keep them, help them stay motivated. And like I said, put those supports in place to help them.
Reba, I feel like so much of what you just said resonated with me, like you're reading my mind a little bit, especially because our liaison is the same. Like, the kids have to schedule and they have to take, ownership of that, and they have to learn to become advocates for themselves. And it's a learning curve. It's a huge learning curve, because they do not come in prepared to do that. And, they falter many times, especially in that latter of the part of the freshman year and going into their sophomore year. And one thing that we have done also, well, like you said, we have students that come back from college that we tutor. We have someone on our staff, in addition to our liaison, whose job it is to kind of monitor and follow our 13th year and our 12th years and kind of stay on them like another parent. And we also implement college readiness rubrics, and we start that their freshman year. And we do that twice a year, where we get together as teams maybe the team that primarily teaches ninth grade, or however we separate it, and we rate them on certain things like problem solving or attendance, or it might just be communication, a lot of the things that you just mentioned. And we give the kids the rubrics and we meet with them. So it happens twice a year. And so by their sophomore year, they have an idea of, oh, I either need to do something, or this might not be, I might not be ready for college, or it might not be what I want to do. But I think in the majority of the times we see those kids turn around completely after getting a couple of these rubric meetings where they realize, oh, I really can't just play, or I really can't just expect other people to take care of me all the time. They have to, like you said, take some ownership.
And when they do that, it amazes me how proud they are of themselves when they see, okay, this is where I was. And by doing what you told me to do, look at where I am. So that's the motivation you need.
Yes. And we keep all of the rubrics. So they see each one, each time it's like, you were here, now you're here, now you're here. And so, it's helpful.
I like
Okay, Krista, I want to steal those rubrics.
We will gladly share them with you.
Because that's fascinating. We spend a lot of time with our freshmen talking about growth mindset and integrating growth mindset into everything so that they're not afraid of failure and that they really learn from failure. We also do grade check-ins starting with the freshmen all the way up through our super seniors, the 13th years, so that every 2 weeks an adult sits down with them to have those conferences, and the rubrics sound like a really great thing that we could fold in with those. And it becomes a conversation rather than a punishment. And the students get they actually look forward to the grade conferences because they know that there is an accountability piece, but there's someone there to help them, that when they come, it's a brainstorming session for them to take ownership of where they're at. So that just adds to what we do. And we focus a lot on growth mindset so that they start to understand everything is a process, and please don't be afraid to fail, that some of those college classes as a high school student are daunting, and that you may have to take them more than once, and that's okay.
Yeah, I think they learn just as much from, I don't want to say failure, but from not scoring high, because the way the rubrics work, it either puts them in a ready for college, minimally ready, not recommended, or far from, not at all. And so when they see that and they really realize, so, it is, and I will gladly share it with you.
As the instructional coach, Frank, I would say good instruction is a piece of what maybe separates or at least is advantageous about early colleges. I know at our school we have adopted a kind of a uniform view of what good instruction looks like. It's called the Common Instructional Framework, and it was developed by an organization called Jobs for the Future, and it was developed like for early colleges and kind of tested in early colleges. And it's these 6 research-based instructional methods that have been shown to accelerate student learning. And so that's kind of one of the issues when if you have a student that comes in from a middle school that's not quite prepared for college yet, we can't just, a year's worth of growth won't cut it, right? That student needs to catch up. And so these strategies, the Common Instructional Framework, have been shown to help do that, those freshman and sophomore years. So when they hit those college classes, even though those college classes might not be taught this way, they have that foundation now to be able to be successful in that college environment. And so these 6 strategies that in our school, that when I do coaching, when I do classroom observations, these are things that we're talking about at staff meetings. And they are the classroom talk. We want to see students talking in class, not just some students, all students talking during class, because, and I've kind of talked to our teachers about whoever's doing the talking is doing the thinking, right? And so questioning is a second one where, we want to make sure that students are curious and that they know how to ask good questions And also teachers, when they ask questions, are doing things to hear from as many voices in the class as possible. And, if a student doesn't feel comfortable talking out loud, we want them to communicate those thoughts in other ways. Collaborative group work is an important thing. We know we're building students for the real world. And so learning how to work in a group and have different roles is super important. Scaffolding, where our teachers are, not the old saying, like the sage on the stage, right? We don't want that. We want that guide on the side, right? We want that teacher who can kind of facilitate and meet that student where they are and help them move up to the next level. But this other student in the class might need more or less. And so that scaffolding is really important. Writing to learn, getting students to write about just kind of as a way to process their thinking, not for an evaluative purpose, but just to be able to just kind of write out and process things before they bring them up in class. And lastly, literacy groups, being able to read text and being able to comprehend text, and then being able to discuss that text in a group environment and learn from each other, and letting that student really get an understanding for themselves and kind of really own that learning and not hear it from their teacher, but they understand the text and they can talk about the text. If they do have questions, if there's a word they don't understand, they can bring that up. So those 6 strategies, the common instructional framework, I think is a key for helping our students in early colleges be successful, at least at our school.
So much great work happening across the state of North Carolina, and all of your schools are so fortunate that you're serving in your various capacities, and you're doing really, really impactful work. And I know that there'll be opportunities at the upcoming summit, Dr. McKay, for faculty across the state to be able to glean so many resources, whether it's the college readiness rubric or other resources. Tell us what we can expect, Dr. McKay, from this year's summit.
Sure. So the Early College Summit, RTI International sponsors and hosts an annual summit, usually 2 days in June. This year it'll be on June 6th and 7th. And we invite educators from early colleges across North Carolina and other states. We'll have Massachusetts, Ohio, I believe Alabama, and Florida represented this year, in addition to North Carolina. And it's an opportunity to come. I like to say it's an opportunity for education, celebration, and inspiration. And it's a chance to get rejuvenated, learn best practices. I mean, even this evening on the call, we've heard an exchange of ideas, and we like to call that the network effect, that when we get together with like-minded educators in a network, it's an opportunity to accelerate the exchange of expertise and resources. So the summit is a culminating event each year where we bring folks together for that purpose. And as much as possible, we want to just create the space for expert educators and school leaders and district leaders to come together, learn from each other, and help improve the good work that they're doing for students, like we've heard this evening on this session.
That's absolutely wonderful. And if you're interested in registering, the registration link is in the description box of this video. We'll be right back.
Want to join the Early College Network for the 2023-2024 academic school year? Member schools can engage in all the activities discussed on today's Tar Heel Teachers episode and more. You can learn more about the ECN and member benefits by visiting the ECN website via the link and QR code shared on the screen. For more information about membership, you can contact Stacy Costello at her email listed here.
We are back on Tar Heel Teachers Presents North Carolina's Early College Network. I'm so excited to be joined by our special guest co-host for this segment, Michelle Woods.
Thank you so much for having us, Dr. Artis. Hey, everybody, I am Michelle Woods. I am an educational consultant with RTI International. I am one of the individuals at RTI that help support the early colleges in North Carolina, and we are joined today by a fabulous group of students who are also early college students, and they're going to be talking to us today about their experience at their school.
We're so happy to have these wonderful students, because we know in our early colleges across the state, our students are our top priorities, and we're really excited that they're here to talk about their experiences. So we'll start our introductions with our friend from Duplin County.
Hi, my name is Kelsey Handy. My name is Adam Noir. I'm a proud Eagle from Franklin County Early College in Lewisburg, and I'm a graduating senior this year.
My name is Nicholas Weigel. I'm a junior at Search Scotland Early College.
Hi, my name is Tara Smith. I'm a senior at Cumberland Polytechnic High School in Fayetteville.
Hi, I'm Ella Billingsley. I'm a junior at Craven Early College High School in New Bern.
So we're so happy to have all of you here, and we're really thrilled for this conversation. So can you all start by talking about how your schools develop a sense of belonging and trust for all the students under the care of the individuals serving in on those campuses?
So I'll start us off with this question. I think what really supports just the atmosphere of trust at my school is our entire school is around 180 students, right under 200. And that really small environment, I believe, really helps, especially between grade levels and staff and students, just to establish trust. I mean, everything gets around really quickly. So no one really wants to do anything unsavory per se that would cause people to not trust them because everyone would know about it. And I'll let some of our fellow students add on to that.
Thing with our school is we do tend to, if there's like any problems going on, they're quickly noted and taken care of right away. So that uses a safe environment.
I would like to add that our teachers in particular make a really good environment so that everyone feels welcome. And if there's any problem at all, we feel very safe going to those teachers. So I feel like in terms of trust and belonging, the teachers are the main source of that, especially at our school.
Yeah, I agree with Ms. Ella. Yeah, at our school, at my school, the teachers are very nice to us, and it's a lot of personal relations that really helped me strive through my first 2 years at Search or Scotland Early College. My math teacher, she was really like, she wasn't just a teacher to me, she was like my friend. And I just believe that when it comes to trust and when it comes to helping students succeed as much as they can, it's really all about how personal and how well you can be with your teacher in the classroom.
Exactly. I agree with all of that, but especially what Adam said earlier. Our entire senior class is 60-ish students, so everyone knows each other and we all know who to go to for help, and that just makes it so much easier.
It certainly makes a difference when you have those relationships, and certainly when they're built on trust and everybody feels like they belong at the school and that the school belongs to everybody. Ms. Woods, what question do you have for this esteemed panel?
So I'm wondering, because there might be some in our audience that aren't really sure what the difference between an early college from a student perspective, an early college from a traditional high school. So I would like to know, how has your experience at the early college that you're at prepped you for college or career, and how might that be different than what you would have experienced at a traditional school?
I would like to start this question off. So our school is we have this time in the morning, it's called campfire. And we use that time to specifically focus on college and career readiness. Just right now, we're working on making resumes, which has been very beneficial because resumes are very important for many, many years to come. It's also, early college in general is very important in like college readiness because we are college students. So it's like you have no real like high school to college, you just go middle school to college, it's really good because it can help you, you have the teachers to help guide you into that transition. But you have to be mature and you have to stay with it because you are a college student. As well as a high school student.
Going along with what Ella said, I can say that especially with the one-on-one with the teachers and to learn, it helps you get with a better studying patterns and learning about other ways to navigate a college and how a college like forms, which also helps with your studying skills and how to stay on task with all the workload.
Yes, it definitely prepares you. It gives you all the skills you need, and it can also teach you what you want to be in the future. So one of the main reasons that I attended early college was because I had no idea what career path I wanted to go down. But it really gives you that flexibility to find your path and see what career suits you. And it gives you those skills to really excel in that area.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with Sarah. With how I was going into Scotland Early College, I was stuck between two different career options. I had no idea. I wanted to go into acting, and then I wanted to go into something like computer science. And through a program that we do every week or every other week that we call it Prides, because our mascot is a lion. We call it Prides. We learn how to narrow down our career paths and what college can be, what college can mean, the ups and downs of it. Like we just covered roommates and the ups and downs of roommates. There's a lot of different things that early college can prepare you for that a traditional high school most likely couldn't.
I'll use an interesting metaphor. Any avid Spotify listener, I'm sure, has heard the thousands of Pete Davidson Smart Water Alkaline advertisements and how they talk about how their smart water is much better compared to regular water. So I would definitely say an early college is much like smart water. There really are no cons. I think the most common argument that I hear about early college haters out there is that you're missing out on the high school experience. You know, you don't have sports, you don't have clubs, you don't have this. And I'm sure it's, by a case basis, but at least at my early college, you really don't miss out on any of those things. You can go play sports at your base high schools. We have plenty of clubs and opportunities for students at our school. And alongside that, we have plenty of academic and educational and even career opportunities for our students that your traditional high school won't have. At the Franklin County Early College, we have a partnership with Novozymes, which is a globally recognized biotechnology company, and they exclusively select their interns from our program. So that's an opportunity that no one else in our area really gets. And that's, just that internship alone can set you on a lifetime career for an excellent company.
Exactly. You can really expand your network at an early college. So you can still get that high school experience, at your base school or home school. And you get to know the people at your home school and at your early college. Plus all the opportunities with internships and everything. You can really do everything that you need to do.
That is absolutely awesome to hear that you all are really tapping into that experience and taking advantage of it. And like you said, all experiencing the smart water that is available to all of you. That's pretty cool.
That is really great. Go ahead, Michelle, you got another question?
Yeah, I was going to ask, what's one thing that you are proud of based on your experience at your school? So whether it's something that you've done or something that you've participated in, whatever that is, why are you proud of that? How has that helped you in your identity as a college student or as a soon-to-be college student?
One thing that I'm proud of is the fact that I've been able to take things into my own hands more. I have really learned that, or this early college has really helped me learn that it's not everything's gonna be handed to you, And I'm really proud of the fact that I've been able to stand up and be able to do things for myself. I mean, I just got accepted into a beta officer position. I run about 2 different clubs. I'm in another one that is it's like a climate club. I've just stood up for what I want to do, and this early college has really helped me out with becoming responsible, and that's what I'm proud of.
I'll also jump in. My favorite thing about my school is just how student-led and involved students are in it. Us only being, like I said earlier, 180 students, everything is student-led. We have a National Honor Society that I am the president of for this year. We have student government that pretty much makes all the decisions at our school. I'm my class representative for that. And probably my favorite thing, not participating in leadership positions and being involved. My favorite thing is how I can walk down the hallway at my school and probably, wave at or fist bump at least 10 to 15 people from different grade levels. I don't even have classes with these people. And the fact that I'm able to establish those connections with people that I'm not forced to have these connections with just really brightens up my day when I go to school every morning.
I would have to say the leadership positions that you are offered. I am the student union president for the school, and I'm on the board for Junior Civitan. So it's a lot of service things, but just with student union, I have basically made the entire prom, and that's this Friday. So I'm like really excited for that. But it has been such a crazy experience to be able to create something this big for our school. I did the math today and I have spent 33 hours this semester making prom decorations. So it's crazy, like the leadership. And it's like this Friday, so the anticipation's building. But yeah, just being able to have this many opportunities to do these things and have this much of an active role in your school it's been amazing for all of us, like not just me, but every other leader in the school for sure.
So many great
I'll add
things to
on
be
to the
proud.
prom thing. I apologize.
No, go ahead, Adam.
I was just going to add on to the prom topic. Yeah, my school also, the entire prom is student planned and student led. So that's just something I can relate with. And it's pretty interesting to see that other early colleges adapt that mindset.
While being in middle school, especially, you didn't get that many like one-on-one, like being able to. So my middle school grades were not the best, but when I came to early college, like I got straight A's like out of nowhere, and I didn't know I could do that. So it opened my mind to know that I was more capable of being able to actually hold myself accountable and do the work that needed to be done, and knowing I had my teachers along with me on the way.
Exactly, with everything you all are saying. That's something I'm especially proud of this year, is how much I put myself out there in terms of the leadership opportunities and opportunities with colleges and scholarships. I recently got a full ride to North Carolina A&T, and yeah, to do that, for that process, I had to do multiple interviews. I had to network, just a lot of things that I had little to no experience in, but thankfully early college was there and they taught me communication skills, leadership skills, and I was really able to use everything that I've learned over the past 4 years.
That's exceptional. We have wonderful students, and certainly important for school leaders and teachers to be able to tap into the expertise that you all bring to the building and the passion that you all bring to the buildings each and every day. Can y'all talk about some of the misconceptions of early college? What are some things that you wish that the general public knew about the early college setting, that maybe they have it wrong, maybe they don't quite understand?
I'll tackle this because I do a lot of recruitment for the early college, and it like I kind of tapped into a little bit earlier. That is like one of my most annoying things to hear is, oh, you don't get the high school experience at an early college. What? Oh, you go to the early college? Why would you go there? You're missing out. Like, you're literally missing out on absolutely nothing, and you're having so much more handed to you that you don't get anywhere else. That you're getting a bunch of pros for no cons. And you're told as a kid growing up, oh, nothing is free, nothing is this, nothing's going to be perfect. I hate to say it, but early colleges kind of are. I really can't think of any cons at my school. Students get to engage in their favorite sports. I ran track for a little bit this year. They get to engage in band, other festivities that every other high school has. You're not missing out on those. And we have our own clubs, our own prom. Our prom is even open to all grade levels, which other high schools was typically just junior and senior. So it's a lot more open for everybody. And I know that can be hard to know from the outside. You really only learn that once you actually apply. But if I could talk to parents out there, I would just ask them, you're really not losing anything for applying, and your child would be gaining so much if they were to get accepted to an early college. So just don't buy into those rumors you may hear.
The main thing I hear is Scotland Early College is the smart people school. And I have talked to my principal so many times, and I've heard her say so many times, Search isn't a smart people school. We don't want that misconception, because that's not what we're going to call ourselves. That's egotistical and just not. We're a school that we try to accept people that are willing to put in the work. We try to accept people that are or students that we know that are willing to strive and engage for success, and someone that is able to benefit our school, someone that wouldn't bring us down. It's not it's not just a place for smart people. That's I hear that all the time. We are not a place for the smart people. That's not what we call ourselves.
The main thing about what we hear, especially at our school, is you don't have any sports or you're missing out on being able to play sports. When, if you think about it, for especially families that come from low income families, you are getting a free 2-year college degree right out of high school. And even though some people might have to stay 5 years, some people might have to stay 4 years, you are still going to be ahead with your college degree, as with many others when they went to a regular high school. They still have to go into college for 2 more years.
Yeah, those are definitely the two biggest misconceptions I hear about missing the high school experience and that it's just a smart people school. In terms of the high school experience, you can definitely still have that. You can have that at your home school. They have plenty of events at your early college for that. You do have to put yourself out there. However, that's exactly the reason early college exists. It promotes you to do so. And then in terms of it just being for smart kids, that's not true at all. You know, you can be smart and go there, but it's really just a place for you to prepare yourself for the future. You don't have to be, 4.0 honor roll, getting all the extracurriculars. You can be, but you don't have to.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with Tara and Nicholas there. Early colleges, we're not looking for people who are successful. We're looking for people who want to be and know they can be successful.
Yeah, I've heard private school, I've heard smart people school, I've heard all of the things. But I totally agree with what everybody has said. Like, you don't have to be smart. You don't have to have had good grades your whole career. You just have to be able to put in the work and know that you have your goals. One of my biggest hesitations too was the whole sports, not having sports thing. But I go to like all of the local football games and you're able to go to those local sports games. And I have friends who I knew from middle school that I can go with. So I still have those connections and I don't feel left out at those sports games. So I still get the sports and the high school experience with those, while having the education from the early college. It also saves so much time to take your college classes and your high school classes at the same time. So you're not taking extra classes in high school and then have to take extra classes in college. So just the whole controversy surrounding smart people school, I would definitely disagree with.
The early college model here in North Carolina is a model for the nation, and so much great work happening across our state. And our state is so fortunate to have exceptional students like each of you. Thank you all so much for telling the stories of your campuses. I know that your principals and your teachers are so proud of you all because it's obvious that you all are dynamic leaders on your campuses, and your schools are so fortunate. We'd like to thank everybody so much for watching this very special episode of Tar Heel Teachers Presents North Carolina's Early College Network. We look forward to seeing you soon.